What's going on, y'all? Um, First things first, let me show you the outfit of the Dizzy. The Adidas shorts. I had these motherfuckers Adidas shorts, you know what I'm saying? And don't even let me show you the red and white shoes I got to go with this motherfucker too. Hey, I appreciate this shit, my nigga. Anyway, first thing first, I want to get into. First, let me tell you guys, please have a seat. Ladies, fellas, please have a seat. Boys and girls. Open up your books at chapter 10. Nah, fuck. Like, nigga, I don't want to open the book. I ain't reading it, motherfucker. You never want to read because you can't read, motherfucker. You should learn. The best prescription drugs, man, that take for anxiety and things of that nature. I want to talk about prescription drugs and things of that nature, and also for anxiety as well. I'm going to round this out into one topic because I didn't really have a thought process of what I wanted to do before I pressed the record button. I just kind of came in here, but to get right into it, I'll come up with a title later. I want to speak on my experiences with other anti-anxiety medications and depression drugs as well. First things first, I'm going to take it far back. I'm going to go to Prozac. This is when I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, a whole bunch of fucking anxiety. When I was 17, actually it first hit me when I was 16. It was a separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is something it's really real. If you don't know what separation anxiety is, it's basically a separation from something that you're used to and something that you're accustomed to, whether it's friendship, whether it's love, or whether it's a surrounding or an environment that you're at. That's what separation anxiety is, and that is a big thing. Some of you guys don't understand your anxiety that you're having. You just, like, because anxiety it's the word in itself, but it's also broken down in different groups, just like gangs, just like video games, okay? You know, we have systems, but at the same day, we're all in the same game. Sports, it's like we have different teams, but we're all in the same. Understand that. Same thing with prescription drugs and things of that nature. Pain pills, and that's another subject. I'm not gonna get into that. So with anxiety medication and also anxiety is breaking it down. Social anxiety, these are the two things I dealt with social anxiety and separation anxiety, and also just anxiety that came out of nowhere. You ever felt like you had butterflies in your stomach that came out of nowhere? Like you just felt like you had butterflies for no fucking reason. You were just nervous and you didn't know why you was nervous. That's why I like to call sneak up, like, hidden anxiety. And you have to try, the best way that I deal with that kind of anxiety is I try to figure out a way to understand what's causing me to feel that way. That's the best way to deal with it. That's the first thing you need to do first before you can go start smoking off that marijuana, rolling them fat blunts, smoking them L's with you and your partners. The first thing you need to do is figure out what your anxiety is, when did you have it, when did it come, what made you feel anxious, and why. You know, how do I take this anxiety that I have and put it into this big ball, you know, the Hadouken ball, and then you Hadouken. Like, you got to figure out the best way to get rid of that shit. So, with me, like, I moved from, like, my surroundings, all the way from another country and came out here. This is when my dad was in the military. That's a whole other story. I was in this other country. I moved away from all my homeboys, moved out, you know what I'm saying, moved out to... you know, fucking Virginia. I was out in Petersburg, Virginia at the time. I was in high school there. It was wild. Motherfuckers getting stabbed, beat up every single day. That wasn't the problem that I was dealing with. That was, you know, to me, I fit right in. Because I was such a troubled youth and troubled kid that was okay with me. I was a bad kid. And I was worse than all the people I was around. Not saying I was stabbing. You know, that's not the point. I'm just saying I fit in with that drama. I was with them. So when they wanted to skip school and smoke weed in the back of the gym, I was down for that. You know, but it was the environment itself, the way it smelled, the way it felt outside, the temperature, the people, how they acted. Every state and every city and every country you go to, people are different. You can be in one state, it's like a whole other world. You go to another state, it's like a whole other world as well. When you go from, like, the west coast to the south, or you go from the east to the, you know what I'm saying, the north to the back to the you know, the west or whatever, you're gonna see that people are just way different out there. The Midwest. you're gonna find different kinds of people. Women, the way they act, the way they treat men, the way they go after men, are way different in the Midwest as the way they feel towards your race or whatever. It's always different. It's like we're all stuck in this big ass gumbo pot, but all of us are different. Like we threw our seasoning in there. You know, you're that seasoning. He threw his, you know what I'm saying? He threw his meat in there. He threw his peppers, and he, you know what I'm saying? We're all different. So you might be that pepper. You might be that meat. He might be that. And that, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We're all different, and we have to understand our anxieties, and we have to understand what they are in order for us to beat them. So it took me a long time before I realized that my environment was causing me, trying to adapt to people's way of thinking and way of learning and way of doing things. I had to move the way they move. When I was used to moving this way, they was moving, you know, another way, and I had to go with them. So I had to learn to adapt. Adaptation is the master key to knowing. Is master key to maturity and being a man and being a grown woman. That is the key to life. Adaptation. Adapting is nothing is more important than that. When you can leave from one place and go to another place. Say all of a sudden your life just fucking crumbled and you had to go to jail or something like that. You had to leave. If you can adapt in that surrounding and learn it and be accustomed to it, then that is something that will help you fight those anxieties and those stresses, because you know you can just fit on in. You know, I used to really like when a girl would come over to my house and make herself feel really comfortable. I thought that was really cool to me, because I'm like, this girl is comfortable where she's at. You know, she could just go somewhere and then she takes her feet off, her shoes off, plops them right on my my nice couch. You know, doesn't even ask me. You know, starts going to my refrigerator, doesn't ask me. And I'm like, bitch, nah, I'm not playing, nah, for real. I love when they, you know, because it's like it shows that they just feel like they're at home, and they're smiling, they're having a good time, and they're not worried about shit. And I admire people like that, and you should too. Going through a lot of shit, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. To me, it made me not give a fuck about a lot of things, but at the same time, am I just a hurt, you know, fucking almost like a scorned woman, like, you know, distrustful or just don't care? No, it was like that at first, but I have nothing but cares for this world. You know, I care about my life, but if someone was to come and take it, I'm not gonna beg for it, because you don't deserve that satisfaction. Who the fuck are you to tell me when I'm supposed to die? This ain't even in my fate, nor is this in God's plan. You know, and no disrespect to anybody who doesn't believe in, you know, that. So understanding your anxieties is very important. So you have to know what you're doing first. Same thing as a psychiatrist. Like, he needs to understand your problems as well. He can't just put you on fucking medicine. Okay, you have anxiety? How about I give you a Klonopins too? Fucking jackass. That's what my doctor did. He gave me Klonopins, K-pins. That was awful for me. K-pins are the worst, especially me having a problem with alcohol all the time. If I drank with that, and he told me don't drink with it, okay, don't drink with it, okay, that's fine. I'm still going to do it anyway. It doesn't mean it's going to stop me. How about you give me something that's better off from my alcoholism that I can take with that as well? Things that build up in you, like lorazepam, things of that nature, they kind of build up. You have to kind of gain a tolerance towards it, and it works slowly. Those K-pins, Xanax, Valium, they work right away. Valium's my favorite, of course. I mentioned that in another video as well. I probably will make a whole video about that as well. Like the butterflies I would get, I would sit there and I'll figure out, okay, why am I having butterflies? What's making me nervous? Why am I feeling anxious? And why am I having anxiety right now? Why do I feel like I want to get up and leave the situation? Is it the way this person's talking? The way this person's looking? Is it too close? I need to understand these matters and understand why they're bothering me and figure out ways to go about them. If you have social anxiety, here's some tips of how you can stop your social anxiety. You're used to being around a whole bunch of people. Maybe you were the class clown, the very popular kid in the bunch, and all of a sudden you go from not knowing anybody. That was the situation I had to, and I had to kind of gain, and I didn't know how to adapt at the time. Minding, I was 17. Basically, what you do in a situation like that is like, okay, this is where I'm at. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm stuck here. How do I make the best of the situation? If you're having a panic attack, you need to do the same thing. You need to find out what is causing me to have a panic attack. Why am I having a panic attack? Did it just come out of nowhere? Did I smoke some weed and my heart's beating fast? Do I think my heart's going to... No, your heart's not going to stop. It's not going to blow up. It's not going to do any of the things you're thinking. Your stomach is not gonna do it. It's not gonna do all the things you're thinking. Your body is not gonna just stop working, and the walls are not closing in on you. It might feel that way, but they're not. And if the walls started closing in on me, you know what I'd do? I'd grab those walls just like this, and I'd be like, motherfucker, fuck you. Get off me. I was curing my anxiety with alcohol. I was like, nah, this is just because, this has nothing to do with that. I wasn't even gonna pull this out, but I feel like having a sip. Fucking nasty. It's like medicine. Prozac. When I was 17, my doctor had recommended me to take Prozac, which is a fucking awful decision. Like, what were you thinking about? He didn't even know who I was as a person. He had no idea who I was. He just was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to put you on this medicine because this is going to make, And I was taking that shit and I thought about not killing myself, but some of you can. Me being a lion, I'm not going to think about killing myself. I was thinking about killing other people. And that's awful. I was thinking about, I had, flashbacks. I was 17 at the time. I had flashbacks of taking a gun, going to school, and just, and I was thinking about that shit. It was crossing my mind. I knew I would never do it, but it crossed my fucking mind. Thoughts I would never have. I would never want to hurt innocent people. I'm not a psycho. I have too much feelings and cares for people in the world for me to do something like that. So that medicine's awful, and I was taking it, and I took myself off of it. Fuck with the doctors. I just stopped taking it. And I was taking K-pens. I almost killed one of my friends. I almost dragged her in the street. Don't even really remember half of it. She had to tell me some of it. I was a completely different person. It made me go crazy. I was somebody that I wasn't. Evil came out of me. That deep evil that I grew up with came out, and that shit brought it out. I almost killed that girl. I didn't go to jail for that. I used some kind of psychopathic charm to get myself out of that. That was not even me. You know what I'm saying? And shit was ugly. Even though at this point I don't really, whatever with that person, that was never a good thing to do. Period. There's never no right thing to do that to anybody. You never hurt somebody and shit like that because of what you're going through. Don't take your shit out on other people. You can't do that. Your pain should come out as laughter and fun and enjoyment. So people want to be around you. So people want to surround themselves around you because this guy's fun. This woman is fucking good to be around. She's comfortable. People want to be around that. They don't want to be around some angry, violent person unless they're coming from that nature. They want that. But even if they want that, they need some kind of outing from that, which is laughter. So care for pain. Once you can figure out what you're really going through, then you can decide and talk to your doctor. Because your doctor is just because they're a doctor and just because they went to fucking school and read some fucking books and they doesn't mean that this is the right field for them. Please understand that. Just because I jump on stage and do something that I'm not that good at, I need to reanalyze myself and be like, look, okay, this is what I could have did better and this is why and why do I want to do this? I need to figure that stuff out before I go out and, do it or trash myself for doing it or feel bad about it. Same thing with doctors. So don't think just because they have a degree, they know more than you. That's nonsense to think that. It really is, because I don't have no fucking degree in this shit, but I see things and I do them and I understand things a little bit differently. And all of us we're all that's why I talk about energy so much, because without energy, we have to surround ourselves around positive energy, because without energy, I wouldn't be shit, you wouldn't be shit, you two wouldn't be shit, and no other site would be shit. And we all be a big pile of shit that's going down the fucking drain at the end of the day. So we have to find a way to recuperate, get ourselves together, huddle up, talk to each other, and become all as one, and into a big, and that represents love, which is red. Not red like stop or the button to stop recording or the red dot on your forehead. Red can mean a lot of things. It can represent evil, it can represent love. It's all how you interpret it, how you look at it. Valium for me works for me, may not work for you, but that's to me, my experience with Valium, it just calms me down when I'm having anxieties. So if I ever smoke weed, which I never really get weed anxiety anymore because I made myself not think about that shit. Even when I get it, I just literally like, okay, my heart's beating a little bit fast, so what? Big deal. Like, how many? I'm not gonna die from tachycardia. You know what I'm saying? So the importance of understanding yourself. A lot of us don't understand ourselves. We don't even know our own bodies. Do you know where your liver's at? Point to it. I bet you some of you can't. But I know one thing. There's not one person watching this video right now that doesn't know where their heart's at. Remember that. And you damn sure know your brain's at. Unless you left it at home and shit. Look. People always sitting there talking about they got this, always got that, always got this, always got the 9, always got this. Okay, well, you know, I never leave my house without my brain and never leave my house without my heart. I know where those two are at. Understand yourself. Understand what you're going through. Step back and look at the situation before you freak out and be like, damn, this is why I'm going to die. Don't do that because, you know, stop trying to predict your own fate, man. It's not your chance to go. It's not your time to go. Self-medicating ourselves, man. Not always the right thing to do, not always the best option. I self-medicate myself with marijuana, which is, you know, in my opinion, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Some of us go to a higher drug, which I've experimented with that, and by the grace of God and the power and the willpower that I have for myself, and I don't want to say, you know, drug, it's a disease. You know, I notice the people who keep saying how much of alcoholism, drug addiction is a disease are the ones that never want to stop. That's their excuse. That's their outing. It's a disease. It's a disease. Look, it's genetic. I don't give a fuck, man. You keep telling yourself that, you're going to believe it every single day. If you don't believe willpower can get you out of shit, and willpower and being strong for yourself is not one of the biggest benefits that you can have, then you are swimming in the wrong fucking pond and going the wrong direction. We over there and you all the way the fuck over there. Why are you on that side? It's blocked off. You going all the way down there just to find out that the end of that shit has a blockage. Get out of the pool. Come to the fucking ocean. Where we at? Keep listening to the motherfuckers telling you what to do. Get out of the deep end. Ain't nobody telling you that in the ocean. That's your choice. You know you're going the deep end too far. Who's gonna get you? Motherfucker. So choose the right direction. Or you might go the wrong way. Sometimes you gotta go the wrong way to find out where the right way is at, though. You know? Take that into consideration, and you'll be unstoppable at that point. My point is that alcohol is not the best way to run away from problems and shit like that. It's not a solution. It's a thing. I use alcohol to celebrate. Sometimes I use it because I'm just like, I'm bored. You know, I gotta stop being bored. Why am I drinking? Because I'm bored, or is it because I'm hungry? Why am I smoking this or doing that? It's because, you know, like a lot of times when we're feeding for things is because we're just simply have an appetite for something, and we don't even know what it is yet. The body's trying to tell us something. Understand yourself. Learn yourself. Then you'll be unstoppable. The power of the mind is way more power than physical strength, man. Because without mind, never mind. You understand? Hey, I'd like to celebrate and thank you to all the newcomers who come into my channel. If you don't know who I am, hopefully you find out and stick around. And I make a lot of videos just like this, cover a lot of different situations. And like I said, when I hit my goal I'm gonna go into different things and do different things for myself and set goals and set the goals that are going in the right directions. I'm not gonna set traps, because like I said, energy is the key. And if I set a trap, then that's gonna set a trap for someone else. He's gonna get caught in that shit and he's gonna be stuck. I need you to get myself to go forward sometimes. Nothing's wrong with leaping off of somebody sometimes. Sometimes you need that. You can't be too arrogant and too much of an egomaniac and think that everything you do is better than what the next person does, because it's not. Don't be so full of yourself. Pain is something that we hold in ourselves, and we have to find a way to release it. So buckle the fuck up, because life is a hell of a ride, man. And if one man dies, and truthfully, something else, and all of us die, I'm about to sign out. 20 minutes of flame. Like and subscribe if you like my channel, man. If you like my videos and stuff like that, you can always check out more, like I said before. Everything's gonna be okay. I wouldn't recommend marijuana if your person is going through a lot of anxieties and stresses and panics and things like that until you figure out yourself and understand what's going on. And then you can start doing that. That's the cure and that's the answer. There's not a drug out there that can help you. You have to be able to help yourself. It might stir you in the right direction, but you have to figure out what's going on with yourself first. Let's take it easy out there. Appreciate y'all. And I'll be making more of this shit. So until then, Hadouken!